This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Welcome back to the Essay Files. This is episode number 12, and apologies in advance. We were testing out some new gear, so the quality of the audio may not be what you are used to. Please stick with us as we are getting better with every week that passes. This is your host, BogusBird, and joining us today we have our returning champions, Farquad and Kuckle. Welcome, guys.
What's up? Or not Kuckle. K, Agent K. K stands for cool.
Agent.
Cool.
Oh, we gotta come up with something for you there, buddy. So on today's episode, we are going to review Prey, the latest Predator movie. It is brand new. It just released, and we are all Predator fans. We grew up watching the Predator movies, the Aliens and Xenomorphs. We fucking love the Predator series. And this is more like a soft reboot of Predator. And we just watched it, and this is going to be our initial thoughts and review of the movie. We're going to do a spoiler-free version, and then we will do a spoiler version immediately after. So right now, welcome to the spoiler-free. What was the movie about?
It seems like this is almost like a prequel to anything that's happened so far. It's about what is her name? Her name is Naru. She is a Comanche tribe woman who's also a healer, I guess you could say. She's, herbal medicine and stuff like that,
right.
Who wants to become a hunter. And
yes.
So she joins her older brother, and they go out and encounter the and in doing so, it's kind of her chance to prove herself that she can be a hunter.
Right.
My initial thoughts about it, I went in not really expecting a lot of familiarity. I went in open-minded to new things. I went in open-minded to, I guess, just anything unexpected. I was very surprised with it. I really enjoyed it. What are your thoughts?
Okay. Well, same thing. The only thing I knew was it was a reboot, and it was the first visiting of the Predators on Earth. And I actually really enjoyed it as well. Disney bought 20th Century Fox, right? So this is basically a Disney movie. So I was very afraid that they're going to make Predator very PG, very family friendly, do kills off screen or no blood, no guts. They were going to destroy the Predator series. That's what I was afraid. So I was a little worried, and I went into it just hoping, please be good. And to my pleasant surprise, I really enjoyed it. I was happy to see that they didn't shy away from the kills. They didn't shy away from the blood. And it felt like a real Predator movie. Like the last one that I watched, the latest one, they went heavy on the CG. And it was enjoyable, but it's a far cry from what the first two Predator movies are. Like the first two is more like a suspenseful, horror-ish monster movie, they're being hunted and they have to survive. And then later in the series, it kind of becomes more of it's a high-class monster, and he's attacking head-on against military groups, and that's fun in its own right. But the Predator was not that in the first two movies. It was a hunter. It was hunting its prey, and then that's what this new movie goes back to. Prey goes back to the Predator hunting, as opposed to trying to take out the top tier military, groups. And it was refreshing. They even took it back to the jungle, and it was actually very different because he was facing off against the Comanche tribe. and with primitive weapons, and it was very different. It felt very different. So I like that. It felt really fresh. It was a real reboot in a way, and I really liked it. I had fun with it.
I didn't get to watch that last one, The Predator. The last one that I watched was The Predator, where it was a group of them like on a different planet against like he was like a mercenary against like a Russian soldier. That one psychopath who was, I think he was like a serial killer or something of the sort. And
Eric Foreman was in there.
Right, yeah.
Now, was this one before the AVPR or after?
That one was...
No. Predators is after AVPG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, definitely, that one was the last one I watched. So, that's why I came in kind of expecting, unfamiliarity. It was a good movie, but like you said, it wasn't like the original Predators, where it was like, it was doing its thing. It was more of like a blood sport, So I didn't really know what to expect from this one. But this one had some really big surprises. Go ahead, Farquad. What were you going to say?
F you. But what I really liked about this one was they didn't make the Predator like super huge and bulky like they did in all the other movies. Like he was more like realistic body wise. So I can actually like what do you say? Like it felt more like he in the jungle, like he knew how to move that fast and he could do things, Like instead of just being a big bulky like RoboCop Terminator dude.
Yes,
that's what I like about this most. I think
I agree. I also like how bare the Predator looked. He wasn't covered in armor. You could actually see his physique, and the fucking Predator's ripped. He had muscles on top of muscles on top of muscles. Like, he had a fucking 20-pack.
That's what I'm saying. Because, like, if he was big and bulky, like, do you really think it would have looked good like that? Like, it would have been less shredded.
Yeah. He was fucking huge.
Yeah. I also liked
his body size, too.
I'm sorry, what? Yeah, no. No, but I did like how he looked almost, like, unevolved. Like he looked way different from what we're used to, which is really cool because this is, way back in the day, it's not like current Predators. Even his technology looked, it looked way different from what we're used to, but it was still far more advanced than what we have today. So it kind of shows like how far ahead they truly are to our society, to our civilization. And it kind of puts things into perspective, like how long they've been doing this and how they've come to grow their technology, which I thought was really cool. The story was...
my understanding, I think there's different types of predators out there, dude. Like, the higher rank you are, the more weapons you get to use.
But this guy did have
I feel like this one...
No, yeah, this guy did have quite a few things on him. He had an arsenal, and he had similar weapons to what they used. So, I mean, it's like, I still think, in my eyes, I feel like it's what they would have been like back in the day. At least that in my mind. That's what
that. Or he still hasn't unlocked the right to use like the beam weapons, like the shoulder cannon and all that. You know what I mean? Like he's still like early range. He has to be like more primitive.
Yeah. I really liked how he didn't exactly have a plasma cannon, but he had the plasma. He had what are we shooting? Like arrows or little spears. It was really cool, especially like towards the end when you kind of see how it shoots. I'm not going to say right now, but it was really cool to see that. Something different, unique. He also had a couple of things that we've never seen before, which they were pretty cool. But they did kind of seem more advanced, like what he would have in the future, not in that time period. However, like the big ass spear, the double-sided sword, or whatever the fuck it was, that was pretty cool. He had the Wolverine claws, which he kind of has to have that. And, yeah, there we go.
He's a new guy.
Yo mama. And also, I did like how they showed him hunting animals like wolves, bears, and lions, and kind of see how he would face off against those animals. In my opinion, it was almost a shame that he was using the stealth mode so much and so often. It was, obviously it's an advantage over his prey. It was just something we've seen before.
The story, I really was digging the story. It kept me entertained the entire way, like from beginning to end. I feel like, obviously it's going to have a lot of CG in it, but it wasn't it wasn't overbearing. It wasn't to the point where it was unbelievable, and it was really well done too. Especially for something that went straight to streaming. It didn't come out in theaters. I thought it was going to be a little subpar to what you might see nowadays, but I mean, it blew me away.
Now, just curious, guys, what would you what place would you put it in all the Predator movies?
Ooh.
For me personally, I feel like part 1 and part 2 stay in their positions. Then I would say Prey is part 3 for me. Then probably Predator, where that Kuckle was talking about with the off-trial.
Okay.
Then probably AVP and so on, same order.
AVP 2. I think those are the only ones, right?
The AVP, AVPR, and then the other Predator, what's called Predators, where they're like in a military base and a little kid that's super smart.
I'm gonna agree and say that I might like. Damn, it's so hard to play a first one because I really love the first one with Arnold. Get to the chopper! It's a classic. It's low budget, and the story just sets the setting for everything. And it's a simple story, but it's so good. And the second one kind of steps it up, going to the city. And I kind of don't see Danny Glover as big of a threat as Arnold.
I'm too old for this shit.
But the setting and the story, it was so good. The scenes were just, oh man, dude, I fucking love it.
Right.
But I might also agree and say Prey would be immediately after the first two. It was that good. I was very impressed. I was surprised of how much I like this movie. It's a shame that it didn't go to theaters because it's that good. I think it's that good. Even with a lower budget, obviously the last one that was CGI heavy, I think it just maximized its resources and did such a damn good job. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a solid third place. And after that, I really don't care because a lot of those movies fucking suck.
But that's why I just keep in the same order, dude, honestly.
I might go AVP because the story is actually pretty decent. The way it's shot, I fucking hate it. Everything's in the dark. You can't see the action. You can't see the fight scenes. It's trash, dude. I like the story. I like the characters, but I fucking hate the way it's shot.
I just don't like how they made it super huge, dude. Like, they're too big.
Yeah. I feel that way about the CGI heavy, the last one, Predators. He's just, like you mentioned earlier, he's fucking RoboCop. He's unstoppable. He's covered in armor. I don't care too much for it. It had some funny stuff in it. It had some good ideas, but it just, overall, it fell on its face for me.
Well, I think that Predator was supposed to be like an elite, where he has more advanced stuff, so he can do like harder missions. So that's why, he went in there guns blazing.
I suppose, but I mean, it didn't work for me. But after AVP, I guess the Off-World one with Eric Foreman in it. I forgot what that one fucking called. Predators. And then AVPR, I guess. And yeah. And then last place, the CGI heavy one, which I don't even care to remember the name of.
So for me, I think I'm going to put the first Predator on the top of my list simply because it starts off the entire storyline for us. It really holds up. I watched it not too long ago, actually. The story still holds
Same.
up. The action still holds up, and like I mean, it keeps you, keeps you wrapped up in the story, in the action, in the just everything about it. And for those reasons, I think I'm gonna put it first,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna put Prey as my second. I think.
Wow.
Oh shit!
I highly enjoyed it. I mean, it was from the beginning to the end, which is something that I don't know that the other ones have done. Like, each one has maybe a little bit of a slower beginning. It sets up the world for you, but this one just from the beginning built the world, built the characters, introduced you to them, and it made you kind of connect with them. Second on my list is going to be Predator 2, in the city. The kind of it's a really good story. A lot of twists and turns. As you said, Danny Glover kind of taking advantage of his knowledge of the city, and it's his territory as opposed to the predator being used to hunting in jungles.
Right.
Then fourth, I'm gonna say probably AVP as well. I think maybe because we watched it like on older TV sets, maybe that's why it was so dark. I would have to give it another watch, on newer TV to see maybe if there's a difference. Because, like you said, it is a really dark movie, setting wise, but the story is really good. I like it. I like how it kind of shows you the history of like the xenomorph and predator relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Then my fifth one, I'm gonna go ahead and say is Predators, which is the one where it's Off-World with Eric Foreman.
Okay.
That one,
I like how we have Eric Foreman. My bad.
I don't know what do you want to call him, Venom? He's not Venom.
No.
Oh man.
Oh, no.
There you go.
See you, chump. What the hell?
So I thought it was an interesting story behind that one. It wasn't my favorite movie. It definitely did have some slow parts, especially like towards the middle of the movie. It kind of started falling off for me a little bit. But overall, and you know what? I actually don't remember how it even ends. That being said, I don't remember Alien vs. Predator Requiem at all, and I didn't watch the last one. I didn't watch the last one.
Did you not watch the last one because you didn't care for it, or you just never got to it?
I just never got around to it. I actually thought about watching it before this one, but this is supposed to be a prequel or a reboot or whatever it is, and so I just didn't really feel it necessary to watch this one.
Okay. So, Farquaad, so this is supposed to be a soft reboot.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rather have for this to fit in line with the current Predator history that we have? Or do you want it to branch off and create a whole new Predator? Like, basically, the movies that already happened, retcon them, and start fresh with Prey, and just move forward from there? Or do you want it to fit in line with what's already established?
Well, hopefully it's not too much of a spoiler, but I feel like it's really in line with the story that's already been set out there.
Right.
Not going into details because it's a spoiler section. But I feel they can branch off and do their own thing because it was that good of a movie. They did a really good job setting it up,
Okay. And I do agree they could probably branch off and do their own thing going forward. But at the same time, like, maybe I'd like to at least keep the first two in that history, kind of similar to like the Halloween series does. Like, they keep the first one canon and then they start fresh with a part two and then they move forward from there. I know a couple others movies, I can't think of them, but they do that as well. Oh, actually, Aliens did that. The Xenomorphs, they did that. They retconned the third one and they moved forward.
Now, would you consider the other movies with the same story, like with part one and part two, like AVP, AVPR, and all that? Or did they branch off and do their own thing?
I kind of feel like maybe they tried to do their own thing, but at the same time, it still fits. It still fits in the timeline. And really, even the latest one, Predator, the off-world one, that one can actually fit as well because they take a bunch of people and they take them to a different planet, and they're basically being sawed. Like they're just trapped in there, and they're going to get hunted no matter what, right? So that they can be placed wherever. The CGI one, the last one, the Predator, that one actually definitely branches off and tries to do its own thing. It tries to create its own storyline because at the end of that movie, basically humans have Predator technology and they have like a super suit. I really dislike where they're trying to move forward. But the new Prey, like I said, I kind of hope it stays in line with at least the first two and just does its own thing from there. I'd be okay with that. What about you, Cook?
Yeah, I would definitely. I agree. I hope that they keep this one in line with the first two. And you know what? Even AVP, I wouldn't mind that. But anything after that, I mean, I guess technically you could argue that what is it, Predators, the off-world one, doesn't really affect the storyline here on Earth because that takes place off of Earth. It's not like anyone's going to be looking around for, where the fuck did they go? So it doesn't really affect the storyline. So anything after that, AVPR, the Predator, that I kind of don't really care if those stay or they go. But I would definitely hope that they keep this one in line with the first two and AVP. I think kind of going back to the way that it was filmed, I think they did a really good job on creating that suspenseful environment without having to use like how you were saying earlier, he was supposed to be like an old-time monster, but they kind of made you aware of when he was on screen, and they did it without having to use jumps, which, I mean, they kind of made you suspenseful, kind of fearful of what's going to happen. And like I said, with storytelling in it, it's just, I think, remarkable. It, like I said, just the cinematography of it, the visuals, along with the way that they told the story, is why I think I almost put it ahead of the first, honestly. And I think the one that I think what saved the first one for me was just done. And for anyone who is listening, I really hope that you go in and you watch it. And I really hope that y'all enjoy it because, my goodness, it is a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Like, I personally like how they didn't focus the camera completely on the Predator, where they spread the love to everybody else who actually was in the movie. It wasn't like AVP. Sorry, I love the movie, but it wasn't like that where the camera's like on them 24/7 basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it kept a little something away for you. Like it can't really win. Was what I'm trying to say. Like it didn't show you too much too soon.
Okay. So since you mentioned the tribe, and most characters have some time to shine, and so the brother Tabe, he's a fucking badass, man. Oh, dude, like
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Almost wanted to see him be the main character.
Yeah, I think you leave that for spoilers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For spoilers.
All right, you're right. But he's such a badass character, dude. Like, goddamn. Oh, man. I liked him. I liked him a lot. He was really cool. But I'm not going to take anything away from the actress. I don't know her name. I don't recognize her from anything.
Her name is Amber Thunderbird. And actually, something that I found out kind of looking her up, she is actually of native descent. She is from the Fort Peck Theo tribe. And yeah, so
bless you.
No, but I think that was really cool that they have like an actual indigenous person like playing an indigenous character because he pulled it off really well, and he's been in a few things. But that guy Tabe, what's his name?
Beast.
No, Golden Beavers. I think this is his first role in anything. So for this being his first role, like I really hope he makes a career out of this because, like, damn, he got some acting stuff.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, brah.
Hey guys, have you heard of the Essay Files?
No. What's that?
It's a weekly podcast that discusses entertainment news. They focus on topics surrounding Marvel movies, TV shows, DC movies, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, anime news, pop culture properties such as Aliens and Predator, and various other geek culture series and movies.
That sounds awesome! I'm a huge fan of all those things.
Me too! I've been listening to it for weeks now, and it's really funny. The hosts are very knowledgeable about their stuff, and they always have a lot of interesting things to say.
So how do I subscribe?
You can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you can listen to a podcast.
Awesome. I'm going to do it right now.
You won't regret it. Oh my God.
Yeah, he sure does. I enjoyed his time on screen. He was believable. And even the actress, like you said, she filled those shoes very well. I think she was a strong character for what she was playing, right? She wasn't the warrior. She wasn't the, I'm Wonder Woman, I'm going to take on the fucking Predator. Like, I think the movie did a really good job of placing her in the situation and putting her up against the Predator. They didn't overdo it. They didn't overpower her. They didn't, it was a fairly decent matchup,
So basically, you like how they built her up from the beginning to the end of the movie.
Yes, I like the way that that the role that she played. It wasn't like this small frail woman. Yeah, because I did read a few things online where it was like, oh, a woman versus a predator. That's not believable. Watch the fucking movie. It's fucking good. The way they build her up, just like you're saying. The way that she approaches the fight. So good, man. It's tactical. It's intelligent. She's intelligent. She's a badass in her own right. They did very, very well. I like the way they pulled it off. What do you guys think about her being the main character?
I'm kind of in the same boat with you. Like, she did a really good job as the main character, but I kind of also wish the brother was the main character at the same time. But she did a really good job, Yeah. So I'm still giving her all the credit she deserves and everything.
Yeah. I think they both got a really good amount of screen time. I think they built both characters really well. They got us to kind of like care about the characters in such a short amount of time. Like I felt almost connected to them because like you see their brother sister bond and the way that they look out for each other. He is, like you said, a smaller frame. She's kind of coming into her own, trying to prove herself. And I think she did a really good job portraying the character that she was given. I mean, you don't think that they could have chosen her aesthetic for the role.
Yeah, I agree. She was awesome. It was just really good. You know what? The one thing that did kind of bother me is it was a little weird that all the Comanche tribe members spoke perfect English, which I understand it's for the viewers, right?
But then you get to the white guys.
And they're speaking fucking French. It's like, and I had the subtitles on, and they didn't put exactly what they were saying. So I'm just listening to them talking French. It's like, what the fuck are they? What the fuck is going on? I understand what the Comanches are saying, but I don't know what the fucking French people are saying. It was a little like it took me out of it. There was enough body language going on that I understood what's going on. I don't need the subtitles, but at the same time, it was a little like, I understand all the Comanches. Like, don't they do the same for the French people? It just took me out a little bit. It's probably the only complaint that I have. Other than that, though, I fucking love the movie. It's great. It's good.
So what I think about that was I feel like they wanted us to feel we're part of the tribe with them. That's why they're the main characters. Mm-hmm. So we're able to understand what they're saying, what they're feeling and all that. But when it came to the foreign people, like you said, we're Comanche too in their point of view, So we don't understand what like you said, French people were saying because they're like speak different language than, Native American.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought about. Like, I thought about that too, but then I just, like, I felt that way. Like, oh, well, she's the main character, so we're watching in her point of view.
Okay.
That was kind of my thought too. Which, like you said, it took me out of it for just a split second, but then it didn't really bother me too much. Like you said, there's a lot of body language that kind of shows you what they're saying, what they're feeling, and all that. And like at the same time, like I feel like almost like they didn't really need those subtitles for you to understand what they were saying because of like the way that they laid everything out, Yeah, I can't really say that that's a complaint for me. Just because of, like how Farquaad was saying, it kind of makes you feel like you're part of that Comanche tribe. And it kind of makes you feel like the outsider,
You know what? I do have one more complaint now that I bring it up or think about it. There was a scene where it was the bloodiest scene in the whole movie, and the blood looked completely CGI. It just looked fake, like it was. I don't want to give it away just yet, but it looked fake as fuck to me. I was like, it's such a cool scene, but it looks fake. It's like, kind of wanted more realism in it. I know it's a lower budget. I understand it, but it was such a good scene, man. But, maybe for the next one, hopefully they will give them a bigger budget. Look, they will still stick to, the lower budget feel and, just keep it real. Keep it, you know what I mean?
And I gotta disagree with you. I feel like if you could tell it was CGI, but with what was going on and with how or why it looked the way it did, I feel like I understand. Like, you're not gonna go from I can't really say it because I don't want to spoil it. But let's just say my fiance was like, she was next to me and all she was hearing was, "Oh shit!" Like I was like into it. And at the end of the movie, she looked over at me. She's like, "Damn, you look happy as fuck." Like, yeah. After watching that masterpiece, like, damn.
Sorry to cut you off, but I ain't gonna lie. I was watching the movie laying down, and then when that scene came on, I had to sit up, dude. Like I had to damn, dude. Man. I had to sit up.
Yeah,
such a good scene.
It was a great scene. And I'm gonna tell you, like, man, my fiance was hearing a lot of that shit. Like, holy shit! Like, damn! Like, all throughout the movie, like there's not a lot of movies that will make me, that audible, but that movie pulled it off.
Well, I agree with Coco. I really like the scene. I don't think the blood really affected the scene. Like I was too far into the scene. I liked it that much that I just had other thoughts about it. Like I just felt like the Predator was a beast, like straight up, like that's the mofo right there.
And you know what? To that point, I actually went back and rewatched some of these scenes just to see if it was like just in the moment. So I kind of went back and I kind of reviewed some of these to see like what I feel different about it now, knowing what to look out for. And I gotta say, like, it holds up for me.
Agreed.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from the scene. It was fucking badass. Like you guys, I'm just like, oh, that was badass. It was tight. It's so cool. But I noticed it. It's just like I can't unsee it. It's like once I saw it, it's just I couldn't unsee it. It's still great, fucking awesome. But I think with that, what would you guys rate it? What do you think? 1 out of 10. What 10 be the best?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, please click on the link below and subscribe. Become a bro. And join the
Brochachos.
Subscribe.
Yeah, do it. You owe it to yourself. You've earned it. You sat through this far, you've earned it. Do it. You want it. You need it. We need it. Come on, hit that subscribe, hit that follow. Love you guys.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did. All right, all right, all right.
When I watched it, I gave it a solid 10 out of 10. And
Oh shit!
yeah, and waking up today in the morning, thinking back on it, I still have no complaints. Like I said, I went back and I watched some of those scenes again, and I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. To me, it is the movie of the year for me.
Perfect score.
Perfect score.
Did you say movie of the year?
Movie of the year for me. Yeah, that's how much it impressed me. Like I've watched, I watched the Spider-Man, I watched Doctor Strange, I watched a lot of those other, big budget blockbuster movies and stuff. And I mean, this took the cake for me.
Personally, I would love to give it a 10, but I feel it wasn't a perfect movie. But I did give it a solid 9, 9.5. It was that good also for me. Like, everything was there in all aspects, dude. Like, Predator-wise, the characters in the movie, they built them up perfectly. The story was there for me. Like, it was a really good movie. Like, a solid 9, 9.5 for me.
I think I'm going to give it the lowest out of the trio. I'm going to give it a 9. It's still a fucking highest score. I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. But if I'm going to put it up against, movie of the year, I was slightly more entertained by other movies. I think there's better movies. But, dude, I fucking loved it. 9 out of 10 for me. Easily such a fucking good movie. Easy top 5 of the year for me. It's that good. I fucking loved it. It was awesome.
Top 3 for me.
Top 3. Wow.
1 for me.
I can't believe how much we like this movie, dude.
Yeah.
Such a shame that it went straight to streaming.
Yeah. I mean,
well, maybe they'll learn from next time, man.
Like, I'm glad I have, in my media room, I have like the surround sound, the Dolby Atmos, and all that because
that bass.
Yeah. No, maybe that attributed to the experience or whatever. But man, I can't get over the movie. I might have to watch it again tonight. Like, it's that damn good.
I know that when I was watching it, Farquaad was walking across and he's just stopping. He's like watching, just.
It's that good a movie. Dude.
He was glued to it.
Oh yeah.
I think for like a good solid 3 to 5 minutes, I stopped there. I like just figured out what I was doing. I was like just into the motion picture, dude.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah. And even my fiance, who's not usually like into those movies, I don't think like she enjoyed the first one, and I don't know if she watched the second one. I think she has. She really liked the AVP. He gave it I think she said an 8.5. Which
no, she's fired.
No, coming from her, that's actually a really good rating because she's more into like, the cute movies and like Disney and stuff like that. So an 8.5.
Has she seen the other Predator movies?
I don't know if she's seen all of them, but she has seen a few of them.
Has she seen part 1 and part 2?
Yeah, I do believe she has seen the second one. I know for a fact she watched the first one because we watched it together last time I watched it.
Okay, so there's some merit to your rating, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's seen the main ones, basically.
Okay.
What did y'all's significant others think of it?
Mine was at work, so I got to see a solid full volume.
My wife, she likes some of the Predator movies. Like, she's not super into them nearly as much as I am. But she enjoyed herself. She was glued to her seat, and whenever the kids needed something, she'd be like, "Hit pause." So she was into the movie. She was entertained. She was definitely not wanting to miss what happens next. So I think she enjoyed herself. She may not rate it as high as I did, but I know she enjoyed it. She liked it. So
one thing I did notice, because I was walking by when you were watching it, what I did like about her watching the movie is that she was asking questions that you can connect more to the movie and understand better.
Right. Yeah, she was definitely sucked in. She was into it. She was watching. She was paying attention. And I did not notice her on her phone while watching the movie. And that's another thing. I did not look at my phone once when I was watching this, by the way.
Yeah, no, so was mine. Mine was completely out of my hands, but I was so into the movie, like I just forgot about my phone. I connected to the movie that much.
So the movie is an hour and 39 minutes
An hour
long.
and a half.
And
How long?
An hour and 39 minutes.
Hour 39.
And honestly, it did not feel that long to me. Like, man, it could have been probably a 3-hour movie, and I would have felt like no time has passed by. Like, it had me sucked in. I don't know. Like, there's something about it. It was just a damn good movie.
Honestly, I think the same director and producer were to make the next one if they had that in mind. Like, I feel they would do a great job with the storytelling and everything else to connect it if they're going to connect it.
Yeah.
Or branch off.
That's actually exactly where I was about to go. Like, as I was saying, like, you know, it was a good movie. I hope that they get the same team to do the next ones because, I mean, if they keep making them like this, I think they could probably bring the franchise back.
That's what I was thinking right now, too.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to say, I don't want to cut you off again. I feel like they can make Predator big again.
Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
Honestly, I feel if they make a new version of AVP, I feel they can do a better job than the first few.
That may happen eventually because they're working on Aliens. You know, Disney, thank you, Mickey. They're working on a series. And I think it'll release on Hulu as well. I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, back with the Disney money and what they did, I'm very much looking forward to what they're going to do with the Xenomorphs. But I'm so in. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they do that, they bring Xenomorphs back up. They got Predator up there already. Let's smash them up. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
A new version of AVP, one that doesn't suck.
Fingers crossed, guys.
So now we're going to jump into the spoilers. So if you have not watched the movie, go watch it, and come back, and listen to us suck this movie's dick because, ooh, so good. And...
Shit, my bad. Miss Scusi. My bad.
I mean,
all right. And if that wasn't enough warning, spoilers.
Let the second
guys.
Oh shit.
Starting with the lion, the hunt, when they go out to look for their tribesmen who got lost and injured or whatever, Tabe decides to take Naru with them because he knows medicine. That's his excuse. But he wants to give her first shot to, you know, to be a hunter or whatever. So, you know, you kind of start off, you know, he's a caring brother. He wants to give her a fair shot. And, you know, they go out and they find the tribesmen. And he knows her medical stuff, and he patches them up and all that stuff. They're taking them back to camp, and she follows Tabe to go hunt the lion. And they find the lion's den, and she's setting up a trap. And this guy, I was about to slip up a little bit there. The other tribesman that is with them is talking mad shit to her, like, "Oh, you're not a hunter. You know, you're never going to be a hunter. You need to stick to medicine because you're not your brother." Blah, blah, blah. He's just talking mad shit.
Yeah, he's a little bit.
Yeah. Then the lion comes up, grabs this guy's leg, and tears him to shreds. That was one of the first spots where I was like, oh, shit. Because like I said, you know, they build up all this suspense, and, you know, you're thinking, okay, you know, and the entire time I'm thinking he's going to try to get in a couple shots or whatever, but she's, you know, someone's going to come in and save her. You know, unfortunately, Tabe is around doing something else, setting up some traps or whatever. So it's probably going to be this dickhead that's going to save her. And he gets mauled to pieces. And so I'm sitting here thinking, like, damn, what the fuck is going to go down? Because she's either she either kills it or, she gets fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And this scene does such a good job of like just that suspense of like what's gonna happen. Of it's dark, but it's not like AVP dark where you can't see anything, and
yes,
you're in the enemy territory, and it's set up so well. It's that the lion comes up and she's on the tree, so they're on a branch and they're high up, so she can't really jump off or anything. And it's set up to where it's kill or be killed. And then she gets distracted by the flash that the predator is doing something. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's off in the distance.
Like the ship's life, no?
Yeah, something.
Like was going to the branches or something like that.
Right.
Maybe. But so she gets distracted and fucking falls off. And her ass gets lucky, stabbing it in the side just before she falls off. So she did some quick thinking,
Yeah.
I think the scene really sets the tone for the movie. What are y'all guys' thoughts?
Like, what I liked was they stuck to the actual, like, I won't say routines they did, but like to choose who's the highest rank in the tribe, they have to bring in the biggest kill. Like, I don't know if you've seen 10,000 BC, they did the same thing, like where they kill a mammoth and maybe like the war chief or whatever. Same story, basically. Okay. And I'm assuming the biggest animal in their general area is the mountain lion. So if we were to bring the head and the body to the tribe, will be the war chief, like the one in charge of what's going on, basically. That, and assuming how they used to think towards females, I think that's why he was talking mad shit to her.
That's a good point. We have to remember that this movie is set, like 300 years ago? And, women weren't obviously not treated as equals back then. And they do a good job of treating this woman like shit, kind of setting the mood of the time and, just kind of reminding us how things were back then. And one more thing I wanted to add real quick. She was doing some Tarzan shit, man, fucking standing on the tree like that. Yeah. I mean, back then I could climb trees, now probably not so much. But fucking the balance that she has to have to stand on those fucking branches like that.
Yeah.
Dude, no. I'd fucking eat shit so hard.
Well, bro, you gotta look at it this way too, though. Back then, they didn't have technology, so they were actually running out there and they were in shape. They knew what they were doing. They were more connected to the land than we are now. Now it's all technology, dude. So, I'm not hating on people. I'm one of you guys. But we fat now.
You're fat.
I mean, y'all are, but I'm not.
Your mom.
I'm sexy.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Do you want to help underprivileged bald men whose hair has fallen, one by one? If you subscribe today, a hair will grow back on CK's head.
For every
one click,
for every like, for every follow, you can make a difference on that bald, shiny head. Subscribe now.
Please, if you don't want my brother B to start looking like CK over there, please subscribe. He's heading that way. With every subscribes, you can get a follicle on that balding head of his. Bing.
Do us all a favor. Subscribe.
Anyways, so yeah, I do think that scene does a really good job of setting the tone for the rest of the movie. Like the suspense that they build. Like I said, throughout the movie, there's this feeling of suspense of like what's gonna happen next. When is the predator gonna show up?
Yeah.
And then the fact that she was able to injure it enough to where she didn't get killed, and she's brought from the camp only to be followed by her brother, who brings the head of the lion, and he's carrying it on his back like a fucking badass. Like he's just walking on nonchalant. Now, keep in mind, I think the average weight of a mountain lion is roughly like 180, 200 pounds. And this guy's kind of thin, you know, like I wouldn't want to fuck with him, but you know, he's on the thinner side. And to be walking up with the lion just hanging over his shoulder like that, I was like, damn, this dude's a fucking boss. And for him to become war chief the way that he did, you know, with that honor, I think it was well deserved. Like seeing what he could do.
In that moment, he became Tabe.
Yeah,
So gay.
What I liked was how they built up the Predator too. Like they started him from scratch, starting with the smallest Predator, slowly building up to bigger Predators.
Mm-hmm.
Like first was a snake, then was a fucking wolf, then the fucking bear dude.
Yeah.
I like how they built him up, which actually made me think he was like a young blood, basically. Like he's barely earned his rank. Like he's building up from scratch to like, let's say xenomorph would bring it in or eventually, you know?
Good point.
Well, that's actually something I didn't connect actually. Like I remember him taking on the snake and the wolf and the bear and all that. But yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it. Is him kind of working up the ranks. That's really good.
Well, that's what you have to know. Like if you know a little bit the history of Predator, you know, like the unblooded, they're like the youngest rank basically. So they'll go with a team of 3, which would be the AVP. You know, like they didn't have nothing under their belt, and they're trying to make a name for themselves. I feel personally he was a young blood who already had kills, but he's trying to make a name for himself still. That's why I didn't see. I tried to see on his mask if he had a mark, like you know how in AVP they marked it, like oh we could have xenomorph or whatever. He didn't have nothing on his mask, so that's what makes me believe he was a young blood, still working on the lower rank, trying to build up.
See, I kind of thought the no mask thing was more of like a primitive take. Like it's still early in their technology, and the mask was just not what we're accustomed to from a Predator. It was still bone looking, you know. It looked early, very early technology. Like maybe they would still take the trophies, and they admired the school so much that they kind of made that into their mask. And I thought it was really cool. It was a different choice. It was not what I was expecting, but it still worked, you know, for it being set, you know, 300 years ago, the first visit of a Predator. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I actually thought the same thing.
Was up to date where they can make their own mask, like a metal one, because they have special gear. Come on, they can make a mask. I think it was just style and what the Predator liked.
I actually kind of agree with BogusBird on this one though. For me, when I was watching the movie, I thought it was more of a primitive thing, which is kind of cool because it kind of goes hand in hand with, you know, it's a primitive human race versus, I guess, almost a primitive predator. I actually really liked the mask though. Like it took a couple scenes to get used to it because, you know, we're used to seeing the one that we know. But I thought it was a really cool take. I really enjoyed the look and the design of the Predator. And speaking of which, when he takes the mask off, the way that he looks unevolved almost, like he looks completely different from what we know, is very cool. Because like you said, you know, 300 years ago, I really like the direction that they went with it, with the character design.
Like what I took from that was, I'm pretty sure there's different types of, they're called Yautja, the Predator race. Like there's different types. Like I don't know if you remember when you said predators, the one with air. There's smaller ones and there's bigger ones. And I think the smaller ones were like a little less evolved, like you said, like not like part 1 with Artem. Don't quote me. That's what I got. 2 was the mask comes with a rank. The higher rank you are, the better mask you get. Because I know for a fact they have technology. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, I feel like it was in the very beginning still. So he didn't have like the plasma cannon or anything like that. He still was primitive.
Okay.
So something that I actually thought was kind of cool, which it's just like a little Easter egg. It's not really a big part of the movie. Is in the previous Predator movies, you always see them, you know, rip the spine out along with the skull and all that. And you saw that here too. But what you don't really get to see is, I guess you could say, the process of it. You see them rip the spine out in full, and then in the next scene, everything is nice and clean, and he's wearing it on his either around his neck or on his pelt. And in this one, they kind of give you a glimpse of like the cleaning process of that little spray that he had, of just melting all the skin off, leaving the bone. I thought it was really cool. I like how they went more into depth, like on, I guess, what the Predator does to do what the Predator do.
Right.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think in Predator 2, I think they showed a scene like that too. Because if I'm not mistaken, I remember him spraying something on the skull and just like wiping it clean. But they didn't show like all the detail like in this one.
Yeah, not as much detail, but you're right. They do kind of show a little bit of that. But it was nice to see more detail.
It's been a minute since I watched the second one. Then I guess you could part where she walks into the field and sees all the buffalo that are skinned. And
that was dope, dude.
Bro. And at first, I actually thought, oh shit, like this guy the Predator is just walking around just killing everything. And then she picked up the cigar, and at first I was like, what the fuck did she just pick up? Like she smells it, and she, I'm thinking like, what the hell is that? And then it clicked for me, and I was like, oh, it's not the Predator killing these buffalo, it's the fucking people, the French guys. I didn't know they were French guys at first, but I thought it's not a Predator killing them. But then the following scene where she goes to the river and she sees this fucking bear. Man, the scene with the bear, like, for the first time, like in any Predator movie, like you see this thing go hand to hand, like with another creature, like bigger in its size, really, but like, man, he goes toe to toe with it. It's a ridiculous scene. The way that it was filmed, I kind of wish he wasn't cloaked, but at the same time,
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, like at the same time, it's just fuck chef's kiss. Like fuck, man. And that bear fucking claws him, like he gets a right hook on him, knocks his ass down, and this Predator is just like, all right, fuck this shit. Pulls out his fucking wrist blade and just, oh my god, bro, man.
Dude, I love that scene too, dude.
Yeah,
like you said, I feel it'll be better if it wasn't in stealth mode, because that bear put hands on that Predator, dude.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see the expression on the Predator when he was getting his ass whooped for that sec.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And the fact that like you could just see like blood splattering and shit like that, like it shows he's getting fucked up, he's getting damaged.
Oh yeah.
That part did leave me wanting a little bit more, but at the same time, it was just like I get what they were doing. This Predator is like he's trying to get every advantage that he can, and so. But I mean, still, like this bear fucked him up with a few good licks.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, BogusBird, when the bear thought he won, where he like knocked him down and then he started roaring like he won? What you think?
Dude, you know what? Just like you said earlier, if he didn't have the cloaking, I really think the bear would have fucked him up. Like it's pretty close. The bear just fucking mauled him and just fucking tore him apart. And obviously, when the Predator went down, the bear thought he won and he was walking away. He doesn't have his claws on him anymore. He doesn't see him anymore. It's obviously it's an advantage for the Predator, but damn, dude, it was such a cool scene. And that's where I was going on earlier, where the end of that fight, he fucking Wolverines him, right? And he fucking holds him up above his head with one fucking arm. He fucking is holding this dude, the fucking bear, and the blood is spilling all over him.
Oh, that's great. I can taste the bubbles. Actually, I can't.
And that's where Haru sees that the blood is dripping all over the Predator, and you can see the shape of what he looks like for the first time, right? And it's such a badass fucking scene. But that's where the blood to me, it looks a little fake. It's like, God, man, it just looks a little off to me. But it was such a badass scene that it's like, it's whatever. It's fine. It's so cool though. Man, such a good scene.
I think for what it was, I feel like to me it didn't take anything away from like, man, that scene is fucking killer, bro. Like just the entire thing, and fucking Naru, all she can do is fucking lay there and watch the entire thing unfold in front of her. And she's just sitting there in like disbelief of what the fuck is going on. Like, man, it's just, I don't know, like it kind of puts you in the moment. Like it makes you feel like you're there, you know? Because like if I were there, like shit, I'd probably be shitting myself. But at the same time, I'm trying to see what the fuck is going down, you know?
Nah, personally, the part I would be shitting myself was when that bear was like that close, dude.
Yeah, the entire
I think I would be more curious if watching the fight. Still scared, but I think I'd be shitting myself more with the bear in my face.
I think in that scene, they do a really good job of showing that the predator has no interest in weak prey. Because when she does get away from the scene, she runs away and she's being chased. He gets caught in a bear trap, and he picks up the chain and he looks at it and he just lets her go. Like he has no interest in a wounded animal. He has no interest in something that is not a threat to take down. And I think that makes him look like a fucking top tier savage.
He's only interested in that top shelf.
That's what I like, how they kept it real with the predators, with the honor code that it has. You know, like if it's an actual threat and it's out there, it will be intrigued and start hunting it. But if it's something lower tier, it won't bother.
For sure. And then at that point, that's where she gets captured by the French people. And basically what happens is they are also being hunted by the predator, and they want to hunt whatever is killing them. So they use her, Tabe. They use Tabe because those abs. Tabe and her, they get captured, and they use them as bait to try and lure out the predator. So they tie them around this tree, and they set up shop, you know, like on a cliff nearby, and they're just trying to snipe him, trying to just wait for him to come through and just take him out. And to their surprise, predator fucking shows up right behind them. They never even see it. And it's pretty cool the way they did it, because they were focusing on this one guy, just scoping him, right? And you see in the background this horse walking by, and then you just see the top half of a body fall, and then the lower half falls, and it was like, oh,
yeah,
he's there. It was. I had to go back because my wife missed it, and I was like, "Did you see that?" She's like, "You know what?" And I fucking went back, and it was badass, man. He fucking got them, and he destroys the fucking camp, right? And and then he walks up to them, to Tabe and Naru, who are still tied up, and he's like, "Nope, I'm gonna walk past them and keep fucking up the other group." And you know, it was a really good scene,
Well, yeah, I don't know, because he was walking up, and then they jumped out of their little ditches. They took off their camouflage, and they like started trying to fire at him. And he pulls out this little fucking shield, which is the first fucking time you see the shield, which is badass, because he's just deflecting everything. And everyone just like, oh shit. And then with their old-timey guns, they start reloading their gunpowder. They start doing a little fucking stick thing. That shit had me laughing, dude. It's fucking crazy.
Yo, was his vest bulletproof?
Yes,
like, did one of them shoot at his face and it just recoiled back?
Yeah.
Sure did.
Yeah. That shit was great, too. But yeah, man. And so that scene, how I said earlier with the bear scene, is the first time you really see him go toe-to-toe with someone. That scene where Tabe and Naru are held as bait is the first time you really see a predator not camouflage, jumping from tree to tree. To see how he jumps from tree to tree and doing like all the attacks that he does. Like, bro, like this movie had so many firsts. Like, I don't know, man. It's crazy. you wouldn't expect him to be like just literally like whatchamacallit, Ninja Warrior jumping one leg to the other. Like the way that he jumps, it looks so effortless, but it's so cool at the same time to see him do it.
I feel like I liked a different scene a little bit more than that was when he was fighting the Comanche people. Like when they're trying to take Naru back, and she was all like, "Parkour!" Like on everything. To do with the Mohawk, dude, that scene was dope for me. I think I like that scene a little bit, dude, because they like saw him and they went at him no matter, even if they had like knives and spears and shit, dude. They still went at him.
Yeah, that was definitely a cool scene. Because it showed, they're definitely a ballsy, prideful tribe. I mean, and the fact that they were able to even land a few hits on them with primitive weapons like that, just spears and little axes and shit like that.
Yeah,
definitely cool.
So I think the part we were waiting for. What did you think about the fight scene with the burglar and the predator?
I jizzed myself.
Dude.
I jizzed myself.
Go for it, Parkman.
Dude. That dude is a beast, man.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
A fucking beast. I love how he was like, shot the arrow, like duck and slid, grabbed the arrow back and got him in the back and stabbed him.
Yes.
Dude. Fuck. Which reinforced the war chief, right, for me. Also, like, it showed like the difference in combat skills from the other guys when they were fighting him compared to him. He did single-handedly the most damage on that predator.
I think, honestly, if the predator didn't go into his cloak, I think Tabe could have singled him.
I would have loved to see that. See how far he could go.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the scene that made me feel like I wanted him to be the main character.
Yeah, like, I think, honestly, he would have taken him out. He would have finished him. I think he would have taken the head home if it wasn't for that cloak. I think so. Bro, the predator didn't land one fucking hit until he went invisible, until he cloaked himself.
That, and if Naru wasn't there, because he was worried about her, too.
You might be
right. Even then, like, Naru didn't really get in the way. She kind of helped in a couple of scenes, in a couple clips, but for the most part, it was Tabe just fucking wrecking shop. Like,
dude, the predator was shooting his arrows at him, and he was just like,
on the fucking horseback,
dude.
On the horseback. Yeah. Actually, in an interview, I think he said that he spent a shitload of time on horses. Like, he got really comfortable on horses because of that scene. Like, how he had to do that scene. Wow. Like, fuck, man. Like, that dude is a fucking beast. You're right. I agree with you 100%. He's a beast.
I love how he was doing his war cry when he was winning, dude. His or whatever he was doing.
Oh yeah,
dude. It made me feel like I was in the scene with him, dude. It was dope.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, Predator did pull a cheap move. He cloaked himself again. The fact that he knew, like, he was at his end, because he looked her in the eyes and he says, "This is as far as I go. No more. This is it." Mm-hmm. And then he tells her, "Bring it home." Like, oh man, like, I'm telling you, my fiance was like, the entire time, she was rooting for him. She was, "Oh yeah, come on, yeah." And when he goes into his stealth mode and he says that, and Tabe says, "This is as far as I go," my fiance was like, no. She's like, turn around, shoot him, no. And me too. I was like, fuck. I was like, oh no. Like, man, I'm telling you, like, in the span of, that was what, maybe like an hour into the movie, and they made you care that much about the characters. Mm-hmm. Like, man, I'm telling you, they built an entire world. They built, likable characters, and it's the movie is based on the Predator, but you're rooting for the little guy. Like,
right.
Man, they worked magic with this. What were your thoughts, BB?
To your point, I agree that this was a Predator movie, but at the same time, it wasn't all about the Predator. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job, like you said. They built him up, and he's not even the main character. And you like the guy; he's so likable. You want him to live, make it, and you almost want him to be the main character. But the way that he kind of passes the torch, when he knows he's about to die, he puts it all on his sister, and he believes in her that much. And I just think they did a fucking awesome job.
So one thing I want to talk about, what do you think about their weapons, like the Comanche compared to the Predators? Like, what was your favorite? What didn't you not?
Well,
yeah, did you like Naru's axe with the rope?
Good point.
Like, it reminded me of the hookshot from Legend of Zelda, kind of.
I thought it was really interesting. It definitely was something that they made it clear that it was something that she thought of because they kind of made fun of her for it. So it kind of shows that she's thinking outside of the box, which you can see throughout the movie. She's like an outside of the box thinker. She's more tactical. I think
very intelligent.
It comes in handy as a weapon as well as a non-lethal weapon, like object. It helped pull her out of that sand pit, that quicksand. If it wasn't for that, she would have been done right there. I like the way she used it. It was really cool. I think the one thing that I almost didn't believe is she had just made the rope, and she practiced with it for a little bit, but literally you see her tie it, and she's already like a pro at using it, Like she's pulling it back, catching it midair, and then whatever. And in one scene, against the French guys right before that Tabe fight scene, she's fighting the French guys that are still in the campground, and she's she's throwing it around. She kills one guy with it, pulls it, and like immediately, without even catching it, like swings it at one guy. Like there's no way for you to pull it that way that it'll like go directly at the other guy. Yeah. I guess you could say that's a small complaint, but even then, it's so minuscule that I don't think it really brought me out of the immersion.
The thing I would have liked about that weapon is if she used that against the Predator, like freaking, how the Shaolin moves do with the chain hook, like where they're like swimming it back and they use like the arms and their legs and they like make a flip and like go back to it. I would love to see that from that weapon, like against the Predator.
For me, it gave me like Scorpion vibes. Get over here! In the latest Mortal Kombat movie, where the guy takes the gardening tool and then he ties a rope on it and he kind of uses it like Scorpion would use it, But it was used very cool, very, very smart. And she did not use it against the Predator in their fight, but I guess she didn't need it because the final fight scene between her and the Predator was done so well. And another thing that that really got me like, damn, that was tight. The Predator was using that shield to cut off people's fucking heads, right? Mm-hmm. And when she was held down and she knew the shield was about to pop off, she fucking scoots up between these two big ass rocks and stops the shield from just decapitating her. Yeah. It was such an intelligent tactical move on her part. Like she's very aware of her surroundings and she's fucking smart, dude. Like, obviously not the strongest fighter, but she's so intelligent that she can hold her own.
Yeah, I like how they show the Predator's strength. Dude. He was still going through the rock with the shield, dude.
That's his fucking wrist blade. He dodges. He gets stuck in a tree, and she like kicks his arm in a way to where like it makes his shield cut off his arm. Bro, when that oh shit, man! I'm telling you, like I was fucking yelling at the TV. Like you think I'm like fucking on the sideline. I was yelling at my TV. I'm surprised my fiance didn't say anything to me, like tell me to shut up or something, because fuck, man. But yeah, that last fight scene, I feel like the way that she did it, because she started off using that one guy that actually captured her, the fat French guy, as bait.
Oh yeah.
And she shoots him in the back of the head with the little musket and takes his mask. But by this time, she already has all her little shit set up. Like
the traps
fight. Yeah, like I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger would be fucking proud of her. Like how many traps she set up, and like he read him like a book. Like she knew what he would do, how he would like come at her, and like man, you could definitely see how smart she is, like on and off of the battlefield.
Right.
I liked it when she was like, "It doesn't look like it, but I'm actually killing you right now." When she was using the thermal and all that.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that was dope.
She's cold. Oh, speaking of, one thing that I thought was really cool as well, when she first fell into that mud, I was really thinking right there, like, oh, she's accidentally figured out that the predator can't see her when she's covered in mud. But they didn't do that. They went with her medicine. You know, whenever the one guy was being killed earlier, yeah, she took that medicine and is like, oh, I feel so cold. The predator couldn't see her body heat, and I thought that was a different approach. It was very smart of the director to use something different. You know? Make it feel like its own. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like when she filmed the pit, I thought she would be full of mud the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I'm glad that they went with that different direction, because I actually thought for a split second that I as well thought they were gonna go with the mud, and then when it didn't happen, like it was, I think, a big like breath of fresh air. Yeah. You know, they went something original, they went something different, and it's something that you wouldn't really expect, because they had mentioned it a couple of times in the movie, but I didn't put it together that was going to be the solution to the thermal vision.
Right.
They mentioned it when they were healing the guy the first time they went out looking for him before the lion scene, and then they mentioned it again with the French guy that gave her the musket.
Interpreter guy.
Yeah, because he was saying how he was cold, and that's when, you know. But yeah, like I think it had a lot of originality in it, in the movie itself.
I feel the directors did that on purpose, dude, to get everybody like, oh, it's gonna be the mud again, dude.
Oh yeah,
you're probably right.
Yeah,
but back to the main fight. Another small detail: he fucking rips off a little tentacle or
his little
the claw in his mouth. Dude, that was when she did that, I was like, holy shit. That's so fucking hardcore. You know, fucking just click and then stabs him with it.
Yeah.
It's fucked up, man.
Oh, I bet you that hurt. Let's see. Cool. And yeah, like I said, man, he read him like a book. He played him, knew exactly what he was going to do. She starts running away, and he starts jumping into the tree. She looks at him, and she's like, okay, now run to this tree. And she does a backflip off of it, I think, but he lands in the spikes, like into the spikes that she set up. And at this point, I'm like she's almost as good as her brother was because of her smart. She put up a really good fight.
Didn't he actually say she sees things that he doesn't see? Like earlier in the movie?
Oh, yeah. Where he was complimenting her, saying that she's more aware of her surroundings, basically, than he.
Yeah.
You know, he may have the superior combat skills, but she's more aware.
Yeah.
She's definitely smarter.
Yeah, I think for a final fight, I think it was really good. It was really well put together. It was really well planned out. And man, I can't say I have any complaints about it, honestly. And then,
I have to disagree.
Oh,
okay. The only one complaint of the final fight was how he somehow landed on the perfect spot where those lasers would get him.
Good point.
Like for me, I thought he probably could have been a little bit more to the side, would have got his arm or something. Not right on where she wanted it to be. That's the one little complaint.
She planned everything out. She ran at him, jumped off, and threw him into the mud. It was.
Yeah, but I don't see how he can land perfectly right where the lasers would get him. That's just the one thing. Like he could jump somewhere else, somewhere on the side, you know. But I get it's for the movie.
I mean, she did lead. She did lead him into the mud, but the chances of him popping out of that mud and standing in the perfect spot to get shot, you're right. It is a little, you know, it's for the movie. but the chances of it happening so perfectly like that, pretty slim. However, it was pretty cool to see the way it played out.
Yeah. Other than that, it was such a good fight scene, dude. That's the only thing I can complain about the fight.
Honestly, when he took the mask, I thought she was taking it away so that he wouldn't have his thermal vision. And then she set it up like on the side. I'm like, what the fuck is she doing? And then he pulls out his little harpoon at the end of that fight, and he aims it at her. And the way that she used it against him, I thought was really genius. Because like I didn't catch it, but like thinking back on it, like it showed in that fight scene with the brother when he was shooting his when he was shooting his little harpoons at him, when he was dodging on the horse, they were hitting in the exact spot that the laser pointers were looking at, and she noticed that. That's where she noticed that, and I almost didn't catch it until like the very end. And the way that it circles back around, I don't know if you noticed it. If you didn't, you should go watch it again, that fight scene. But yeah, the way that they circled back around, and he was oblivious to what was going on or to why it missed up until like he looked over and he's like, oh shit, and then it hits him in the head. Like,
yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I
kind of noticed it like this in the Comanche tribe people, like in the woods, because if you recall, he like split up the laser pointers on the guy with the mohawk, and each one got their own arrow.
Right. But the fact that they curve and follow until it hits is what I noticed. You know what I mean?
That was cool.
Yeah, because like against the Comanches,
attracted.
Yeah. Because against the Comanches, like, it's a direct shot. But against the brother, like, you know, he's riding on horseback, it's curving towards him and hitting the trees where the lasers are pointing at.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like I said, I have almost no complaints. I don't even know if I can really consider them complaints. I'm going to stick with my 10 out of 10, honestly.
Did you guys catch the Easter egg?
Yep.
Like, I caught it in the exact moment, but when she wins, right? She's looking at the musket, and it has like 1713 or whatever on it. It looked exactly like the one that the Predator gives to Danny Glover in the second movie at the end of it. When he kills his Predator, and he's like, here, take it. And then they take off. It looked almost exactly like the same musket. It was just really cool.
I didn't catch that Easter egg. I'm gonna probably look it up right now.
That's what I said. They would have matched up in that storyline, dude. But that makes me think that tribe was visited again by more predators, which made the predator have it. You know
what that tells me? You didn't watch the credit scenes. That there isn't exactly an end credit scene, but during the credits, there's like an animated.
Like the drawn.
Yeah. That's they're kind of telling the story of what happened in the movie. At the very end, they show a little extra where it shows that they're like, oh look up in the sky, and you see the alien spaceship popping in. So and then it goes to black. So it's like, yeah, the Predators came back. They reclaimed that musket. They fucking wiped them out, dude. They didn't show it, but they fucking wiped them out, man. They had to. There's no fucking way they didn't.
I didn't watch it, but I fast forward to see like it feels like the Avengers and they'll have something in between. Mm-hmm. And I didn't see nothing, so I just shut it off.
I don't know if they're connecting it to the second movie or if it's just a fun Easter egg. Either way, pretty cool.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's a story, dude, I think they connected it.
Cool.
No. For anyone who hasn't watched it, please give it a watch. If you've already watched it, if you didn't like it, fuck you.
Just hoping for part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah,
looking
definitely down for a sequel. I loved it. Fucking good. And with that being said, thank you guys for joining. This was fun. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having us on again.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. And we'll catch you guys next time.
See you next time.
Well, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. You were entertained. I hope you had fun. I know I had fun. So if you want more, you want to discuss about the movie, please email me at BogusBird at @thesfls.com. You can email CK at CrazyKat@thesfls.com. Please ask him all the sexual questions. He loves it. Please visit us at thesfls.com. You can listen to all our episodes. We cover movies. We get personal. We talk about anything and everything. You can also visit us on Patreon where you can help support the show. That would be awesome. We also have bloopers and music and a whole bunch of cool stuff on there, things that you don't catch on the regular show. You can also check us out on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all under PS Files. Thanks again, guys. This is BogusBird signing out. Catch you on the next one.